Hello students, very good morning. I hope you all are doing fine. So in the previous video, I talked about the limitations of Mendeleev's periodic table. In today's video, I am going to explain about modern periodic table. Okay, so let's get started. See students, a large number of scientists, they made attempts to remove the drawbacks of Mendeleev's periodic table. Similarly, actually Mendeleev's periodic table, it talks about the periodicity of elements according to their atomic mass. So here one point that has to be kept in mind, that at that time the electrons were not discovered. Okay. So in 1869 Mendeleev gave his periodic table, but in 1897 electron was discovered by J.J. Thomson. So Mendeleev, when discovered his periodic table, chemists, they did not know much about the internal structure of the atom. Okay, but in the beginning of the 20th century, there was profound developments in theories about subatomic particles. That is, subatomic particles are electron, protons, and neutrons. So in the year 1913, a scientist named Henry Moseley, he carried out a test, okay, and he observed that the physical and chemical properties of the elements are determined by atomic numbers instead of their atomic masses. So this observation, it led to the development of the modern periodic law. Okay, so modern periodic law, as it states that modern periodic law, it states that the physical and chemical properties, the physical and chemical properties of the elements are periodic function of their atomic numbers. Okay, they are the periodic function of the atomic numbers and not atomic masses. Get it? So it means that if the elements are arranged in order of their increasing atomic numbers, the elements with similar physical properties or similar properties, they recur at regular intervals. Okay, so many new forms of periodic table have been proposed in recent times, but with modern periodic law, it plays a role as a guide. Okay, it is a guiding principle. Fine, but the general plan of the table, it remained the same as proposed by Mendeleev. Okay, so the most commonly known periodic table is the long form of periodic table. But before getting into this periodic table, first let's have a look, or let's discuss that how periodic repetition of properties takes place and what is the cause of this periodicity. Okay, so let's have a look. So students, from the knowledge of the atomic structure, we know that the atom, it has a positively charged nucleus. Okay, it has a positively charged nucleus with electrons distributed all over uh, these. It should be circle, but excuse my drawing for the time being. The electrons, they are distributed around it. Okay, now the atomic nucleus, this one, it does not undergo any change during the ordinary chemical reactions. Thus it may be assumed that the physical and chemical properties of the elements must be related to the arrangement of electrons. Okay, must be related to the arrangement of electrons in their atoms. Now, since electrons present in the inner shells, they do not take part in the chemical combination. So the electrons which are present in the outer shell, these electrons, okay, which are present in the outermost shell, they control the properties of atoms. So if the arrangement of electrons in the outermost shell, or it is also known as the valence shell of the atoms, is same, then the properties will also be similar. Okay, I'm again repeating that since the electrons are responsible for the properties, or the electrons which are present in the valence shell are responsible for the similar properties. Okay, so if the arrangement of electrons in the outermost shell of the atoms is same, then the properties will also be similar. Okay, so this is the cause of periodicity. All right, fine. So let's have a look at the long form of periodic table, or you can say the modern periodic table as we see today. Okay, so let's see the structural features of the long form of periodic table. So students, you can see here that the modern periodic table, it has 18 vertical columns. You can see here, these are the vertical columns. It has 18 vertical columns, all right, and they are known as groups. They are arranged from left to right. They are arranged from left to right in the order 1A, 2A, 3B, 4B, 5B, 6B, and so on. But earlier it was used to be like this, but now according to the recommendation of IUPAC, International Union of Pure and Applied Chemistry, so the groups are numbered from 1 to 18, replacing the older notation, that is 1A, 2A, and so on. Okay. So now the group is determined by the number of electrons in the outermost shell. Fine. Now group 1, or you can see here group 1, they are known as the alkali metals. Group 1 consists of these elements: hydrogen, lithium, sodium, potassium, rubidium, cesium, and francium. So these are known as the alkali metals. Okay. Alkali metals. Fine. So because they form strong alkalis with water. Then group 2. In group 2, we have beryllium, magnesium, calcium, strontium, barium, and radium. So they are known as alkaline earth metals. They are known as alkaline earth metals. Okay. Now group 13. Just see here. Group 13, this one, it is known as boron family, as boron is the first member of this group. All right. Then it is boron family. Then we have group 14. It is known as carbon family, as carbon is the first member of the group. Group 15 is the nitrogen family. They are also known as pnictogens. Okay. They are also known as T is silent here, pnictogens. Pnictogens means to choke. It displays choking properties. All right, nitrogen gas, it has choking properties. Okay, then group number 16, oxygen family we can say here, but it is also known as chalcogens or ore forming. Okay, group 17 is halogen family. Halogen family, these elements of this, the elements of this group, they form salt. And group 18 lastly is the noble gas or inert gas. So you must be thinking that where does group number 3 to group number 12, I haven't said anything about it. Group number 3 to group number 12, it is known as the transition elements. Okay, group number 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, they are known as transition elements because they have two and they have two outermost shells incomplete. So they are known as transition element because they are placed between, or they transit the character from S block to P block and so on. So you will learn about it later in the other chapters. Okay, now just a minute. Let me rub this. Okay, now the next is period. Okay, it was all about groups and now period. So there are 7 horizontal rows in the modern periodic table. They are known as periods. You can see here these are the horizontal rows and they are 7 in number: 1, 2, 3, 4, this one, 5, 6, and 7. Okay. So the number of shells which are present in an atom, it determines its period. All right. Number of shells means we know that the atoms, they have shells. Okay. like this: first shell, second shell, third shell, and so on. Okay, so the number of periods, it is determined by the number of shells. So the first period contain only two elements. Okay, let's see here, hydrogen and helium. It contains only two elements. So it is known as the shortest period. The first period is known as the shortest period. Shortest. Then after that, the second period, it contains 8 elements, isn't it? Atomic number, from atomic numbers 3 to 10. They are known, it is known as the short period. The third period contains, again it contains 8 elements from sodium to argon, and it is also known as the short period. So group second and third period, they contains 8 elements each, so they are known as the short periods. Then the fourth and fifth periods, you can see here, fourth and fifth period, they contain how many elements you can see? As they contain 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. As they contain 18 elements, so that is why they are known as the long periods. Then again you can see in the sixth period and seventh period, just see here, it contains 32 elements. Alright, so that is why it is the longest period. Now see here, in group number 3, this one, this is the group. In group number 3 and period number 6, there is a set of elements with atomic numbers 57 to 71, okay, beginning with lanthanum and ending with lutetium. So they are known as lanthanides or rare earth metals. Okay. After that, in the same group number 3 and period number 7, we have another set of elements which are known as actinides, and we have from atomic number 89 to atomic number 103, from actinium to lawrencium. These are known as actinides or F block elements. All right. So students, let's have a look here. So these elements, they are highly radioactive, the actinides. All right, they are highly radioactive. So students, you must be thinking that why they have placed in another, another period, or you can say another, not another period, but in another, they have given another space. So why it is so? Because in order to avoid undue expansion of this periodic table, the 4f and 5f, these two are 4f and 5f transition elements, they have been placed separately. Okay. So this was all about the modern periodic table. So as I said that the first period contains only two elements, hydrogen and helium. The second contains 8 elements. The third also contains 8 elements. After that, 18, 18 and 32, 32. So what is the reason that why we have placed the elements in such a manner? All right. So how is it placed? To understand this, we have to consider, or we have to see the electronic configuration of the elements, and what is the relation between the electronic configuration of the elements and the periodic table. So that I will explain in the next video. So that's all for today, students. Thank you so much. Have a great day.